All right, Larry Kruger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little Krug's Draft Gems. And today we're looking at a Michigan running back that I just absolutely think is fantastic. And this video is brought to you by Sharp Corners, Sports Cards and Collectibles, 205 Cypress Avenue in Pacific Grove, California. Call Anthony Catania. He's at 831-521-5264. Well, there are a lot of 49er fans that if you talk about, Kyle Shanahan drafting a running back early, they're like, no, no, no more Joe Williams, no more Trace Sermon, no more, the Niners have swung and missed in the third round on running backs. And there are a lot of Niner fans that just want no part of a round 3 running back. But here we are. It's draft season, and I'm an advocate for exactly that, a round 3 running back, or maybe even a late round 2 running back. I love me some Blake Corum from Michigan. He is fantastic. I think he's a star. I think he's a guy that helps you win the Super Bowl. I think Corum and McCaffrey together could be just an absolutely deadly combo. I realize they didn't use Mitchell enough. They didn't use Mason enough. They already have a handful of backs. They have other needs. But this kid reminds me a lot of Emmitt Smith and a little bit of Frank Gore. And both of those guys are going to the Hall of Fame. And I just think that he's a terrific player. He's 5'8", about 210 pounds, good weight distribution. He's from a tiny little town in Marshall, Virginia. And, I love the kid's story, but I love the kid's game. The story is that they lived in Marshall, Virginia, and he basically, his parents decided that he had to play in a higher profile league to get that scholarship to Michigan and to live his dream. And so they committed to driving 2.5 hours each way to get him to play football in Baltimore. And that's just amazing dedication. And this kid is just an awesome player. I mean, 5'8", 205. He was the Big Ten running back of the year. He led the FBS with a school record 27 rushing touchdowns. He led Michigan with 1,245 rushing yards, 4.8 a carry. He was the college football playoff championship game MVP. He carried 21 times for 134 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, this kid's everything you want. He was the team captain. He had 58 career rushing touchdowns. That's a Michigan school record. He was the only player in FBS to score in every game this year. He's a compact runner, and he's just got an awesome low center of gravity, and it gives him tremendous contact balance. He reminds me a little bit of Emmitt Smith. If you could draft, Emmitt Smith had pretty ordinary times coming out of Florida, but Dallas drafted him and he became the heart and soul of their Super Bowl championship teams, 3 of them. And I think this kid can be the same thing. I think this is the kind of back that could get the Niners over the top overall in the NFL and have them win a championship. He's excellent on the goal line. He's excellent in short yardage. So you use McCaffrey and then you use this guy on short yardage. He finishes runs with great body lean. In that way, he reminds me a lot of Elijah Mitchell, but even better. He's strong. He's competitive. He's a team first guy. Now, they didn't throw him the ball a lot, but he has already demonstrated he can catch the ball out of the backfield. He's a willing blocker. He will pick up blitzers. He could last till round 3 because he will be 24 as a rookie, and he did have over 700 touches at Michigan. So there'll be teams that will question, the heavy workload and the age. But this guy has got a presence about him. He's got balance. He's got vision. He's tough. This is a he's got patience as a runner. And then, you look at the 40 time, it's okay. It's nothing great. 4.53, but he's got a 1.58 10-yard split. He had a 35 and a half inch vertical, 27 reps on the bench, which is enormously strong. High character guy, and Harbaugh said it. He said, it's rare that you find a guy who's this kind of a competitor and this kind of a lion as far as a football player, also have this kind of a heart and be this kind of a community leader. And that's what he is. This guy's the total package. He's a tremendous player. You can feel his will on the field. He's just great. I mean, this guy's going to help you win championships. And that's what the 49ers should be all about at this point. Now, I realize they got other backs. They've got McCaffrey. They've got Mitchell. They've got Mason. Heck, Mitchell and Mason didn't even get enough time. But it's time to trade one of those other guys and make room for this guy, because this guy's that special. And when you really look at if you knew that you were looking at Emmitt Smith, would you have drafted him? Yeah, you would have. And I think this kid's Emmitt Smith. I think he's that kind of a difference maker. I think he's you can't knock him off his pins. You can't stop him from getting to the end zone on 4th and 1. From the goal line. You can't prevent him from getting the first down. He runs with heart. He runs with body lean. He runs with power. He's got very quick feet. He does it in the biggest games and the biggest moments. And I just think the combination of McCaffrey and Corum could be, exactly what do you need with Brock Purdy to win? I think you need to get a strong offensive line, another big time runner, become a run dominant team that he can play action pass off of. And that's how you win offensively with him. A dominant run game. And I like Mitchell, but he's not Corum. I like Mason. He's not Corum. I like CMC, and CMC is a tremendous all-around player, but in short yardage, he's not Blake Corum. So to me, the McCaffrey Corum mix is exactly what Brock Purdy needs behind a strong offensive line to lead the 49ers to a Super Bowl. I love this kid. I absolutely do. And I understand that there'll be people out there who'll be like, no, he's this, he's that. I'm going to share the screen right here. I'm going to show you an interesting little graphic here. And this is draft eligible running backs rushing career efficiency numbers. So it's a grant. You want to be up here in the top right. On one plane, you have EPA per rush, and on the other plane, you have rushing yards over expected. Rushing yards over expected on the horizontal, and EPA per rush on the vertical. And here's Blake Corum right here. Now there are some other guys that are really impressive too. Isaiah Davis is a guy that I really like as well. We'll talk more about him in a future video. He's from South Dakota State. I think he's a really nice player. But if you look at Blake Corum, you really want to look at the runners up in this top, quadrant to the top right. And who's in that group? Blake Corum. He's right there. So to me, I mean, this is a really, really good running back, very productive. I know the Lions would love to have him, but they have Jahmyr Gibbs and the other big back from the Bears. So they don't really have a need. The Chargers, are going to want him, and they may reach for him at some point. But if I'm the 49ers, I'm drafting this kid. And I may even take him in the second round. And I know there are people going, oh my God, no, Mike, no, you can't go running back in the second round. You can't go running back in the second round if it's just for some bum. But if it's for a franchise altering back, if it's a guy who can help you win the Super Bowl, I think you absolutely can. I would probably trade back from my second round pick and see if I could get an early third and take him right there. But Blake Corum is a phenomenal NFL back with power, speed. He's going to be a leader. He's going to win. He won a championship at Michigan. I think he's going to win a championship in the NFL. As I said, he reminds me a little bit of Gore, a little bit of Emmett. Those guys are headed to the Hall, and this guy may be too. I love him. Blake Corum. All right. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. And thanks to Sharp Corners Sports Cards and Collectibles for sponsoring this video. And thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.